Okay, so this is part 2 of today's video. So, um, and she uses this frequently. She's used this frequently over the last several years, even though she hasn't laid a hand on me in anger. She also hasn't really had to. Because the way that she wins arguments, as I've mentioned numerous times before, is she'll say something such as, oh, your whatever, your refusal to agree to, said thing is really pushing my buttons. Do you want me to become a violent, angry bitch? And it's like, honestly, no, of course I fucking don't. But at the same time, I'm given no leeway. See, I live with her and her parents, and so does our son. We live in their house. We have no bills. They totally own my ass right now. If they wanted to throw me out of their home, they very well could. And there'd be almost nothing I could do about that. It's a really sucky situation to be in. But, I've allowed a lot of this to happen over the years because I have a very real concern that she would call the cops and pursue false allegations of abuse on me. Regardless of the lack of evidence of that, it would still be a minimum of, a week or two, maybe up to a month out of my life. And that would certainly lose me my job, would put me out on the street, and so on. I can't afford that kind of time. I've never been able to afford that kind of time out of the world. Due to her financial abuse, I have practically no savings, except for what I've managed to meagerly save up over the last several months. Well, what I'm getting around to here is the door has already been opened to the abuse. And I not only opened that door just with her, I know that I'm susceptible to it again over the course of the rest of my life. And I have to take steps to guard myself. But at the same time, I can't take out my anger, my rage, my red pill rage at her on other people because A, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. And B, they did not, other women didn't abuse me, but I know that because I normalized that for so fucking long, I not only stand the risk of having it happen again, I stand the risk of having it happen with somebody else. I stand the risk of making excuses for it, of doing all the things that targets of abuse do. And I don't ever want to get into that situation again. I am more afraid of getting into that situation again than I am of being alone, which was almost never really a problem to me. I didn't get into a relationship because I didn't want to be alone. I got into a relationship because I thought I'd found somebody who was a good fit for me. I didn't read all the red flags. I didn't read all the warning signs. Or if I did see them, I excused them. And I know that there's a very real chance that I could do that all again. So that, to me, it's really, the MGTOW middle way is recognize that, I've been involved in problems, resolve to never have those problems occur again by way of not allowing the door to even open. And what do I mean by that? Do I mean, being totally closed off to female friends and associates and shit? No, because A, that shit's impossible if you live in the modern world. You're going to have to interact with women. At the same time, not all of them fucked you over, So I can't and won't treat all women like CB. This does bring me around to, how am I going to handle relationships and shit moving forward? Well, the simple answer is no relationships. No dating, no casual sex, no prostitutes. which for a lot of guys, especially dudes who are teenagers on up, that sounds really hard. Picking it up in part 3.